sure to hop on over to the Spiritual Broadcast Network. It's the go-to place for all things spiritual. You'll discover internet television shows that you won't find anywhere else. You can also choose from hundreds of hours of spiritual documentaries and movies. You'll enjoy on-demand and live internet television programming 24/7. Best of all, we add new dramas, comedies, talk, and reality shows and more on a daily basis. So why spend countless hours searching the web when you can quickly find just what you want on the Spiritual Broadcast Network? Good evening. Welcome to the Spiritual But Not Religious Show. I'm your host, George Lewis. I've got a really superb guest tonight, and I expect we're going to have a lot of fun. If the prelude to where we're at now is any indication, we've been kind of frolicking around here big time, huh? And not to mention that my guest, was at another occasion and had a sip of wine, so everything is going along really well. My guest tonight is Kimberly Braun. Kimberly has a really interesting thing on November 10th, downtown Sarasota. It's called Sarasota Naturally, and you'll find links later on underneath the video as to get to the website and get some information. It's really about, I'll let Kimberly give us an idea of what living naturally is, and I think this has been going on for a while, has it not? This is second or third?
It's the fifth.
Fifth?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it has been going on for a while. I'm the new director, and Natural Awakenings, Jason and Jeff, the publishers and editors of that magazine, had started Sarasota Naturally at the request of the city to have kind of an Echo Fest gathering in the city downtown. So they started it a number of years ago, and they have so many projects on their plate that they just invited me to take it over this year,
right? So
that it could continue, and then they could devote more time to the projects they had going.
Well, plus the fact that you're experienced in this, you also had another fest that you did here a few months back, right?
Right, Celebrate Wellness Fest.
Right.
It's our third year.
Third year, and you do that out at the estate on Philippi Estate?
Right.
And you had quite a turnout last year.
It was great, and it's an experiential health and wellness festival. So everyone that came got thousands of dollars of different health services, all donated.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You can offer sessions and samples and gift certificates. It's a very vibrant festival.
Tell us about Sarasota Naturally.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah, please.
It's less than 4 weeks away.
And
it's right in the heart of downtown. It's on Main Street and Lemon and 5 Point Parks. And it's devoted to a broader vision than health and wellness. It's the entire holistic community. So there will be green living, holistic pet care, sustainability, pet adoption, health and wellness will all be present. There'll be exhibitors. I have 14 sponsors this year as well.
That's above and beyond your exhibitors.
Correct.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. And I have presentations and demonstrations. I'll have a live main stage with 5 amazing bands. Since the event benefits Girls Inc., which is my chosen nonprofit, I'm also including a Hopscotch Tournament, hopefully the first of many, because within us we all want a hopscotch. We just don't do it anymore.
So this is adults and the children are hopscotch?
Everyone can register.
Oh, that ought to be great.
Yeah.
We have a friend on the show that is a publisher, and she and what she does is her name is Skipper, and that's what she does. She gets people skipping.
I love it.
Gives them joy, and hopscotch. That's got to be great.
It's the same, and what's kind of fun is that the festival will be on Main Street and 5 Points, and when the farmers market ends on Lemon, they're going to clear out quick, and we're going to set up the main stage and 10 hopscotch stations right on Lemon. So the tournament will happen right in front of all the restaurants and with the local community all around too.
And you've got the restaurants are going to be preparing some special kind of...
Every restaurant has stepped forward, and they have 2 healthy menu items. So when you come out, I'll have a large chart that shows where they are and what they're offering and what the price is. So it's great. I mean, we've got veggie wraps at Floridians that will have like cauliflower and broccoli and interesting vegetables.
Oh, cool.
To Patrick's is offering a black bean burger.
Patrick's, that's interesting. Black bean burger, that's great.
It's very exciting. Tropical Thai is easy because they already have so many healthy vegetarian
Right,
options.
right.
Duval's has a grilled salmon salad that they're doing, along with something else. So everyone's chosen something, and even Salute, the Italian restaurant, is going to go street side at 3. And out on the street, they're going to sell their tomato, vine-ripened tomato bruschetta.
Oh, wow. Sounds wonderful.
And a homemade pasta dish, too.
So you got great food, entertainment, 5 bands. All day long you're going to have music.
Well, and even more than that, because I'll have 5 bands on the main stage. But I also am going to have what's called a House of Sound. Ivory's Lounge is letting me use their place because they don't open till 5 o'clock. They're going to clean it up. We're going to fill it with blankets and mats and comfy places to lay down. And I've got 5 sets of musicians all doing relaxing sound. There'll be didgeridoo and flute and drums and gong and Tibetan bowls. And it'll be a constant stream.
Oh, wow, that ought to be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I mean, sound healing. And you can meander in.
I may spend a lot of time in there.
You can spend all 5 hours.
Yeah.
No one will make you leave.
I could use it.
Can you imagine them walking back out onto Main Street after all that?
Shocking.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be great fun.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. And what kind of bands have you got going? They're playing new age kind of music, or?
No, the bands are really fun local bands that are more dance oriented.
Oh, great. All right.
Right, because my focus is the entire community. So I really want to have aspects that are appealing to everybody.
Right.
At 3 o'clock, I'll have Nina Benucci, and she is a 13-year-old prodigy. She's a singer-songwriter that's out of this world.
Really?
And so she'll be on stage first, and then I'll have a local favorite, Twinkle, with Sandy Greco, who owns the drum studio.
Right.
So she'll be drumming. She's one of the best drummers in town.
Is that right?
Then I'm going to have something kind of fun. I'm going to do drums with a rhythm inlet. And Bonnie Brown's going to do hooping, improv dancing. But others can join in if they want to. And after that, we'll have Tom Carabasi, and his friends will do Brazilian jazz. And he's a great drummer. And my headliner is a Lithuanian man who's 19 years old. He's brand new in town, and he plays at Ocean Blues, and he's bringing out his band to do rock and blues that are really just
fantastic. So you're going to have also dancing? People can dance during the bands?
All on Lemon.
Oh, my goodness. You got
right out into the stars.
You know, and the date you've picked is such a superb date, November 10th. It ought to be wonderful weather.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if tonight's any indication,
it'll be perfect.
Finally, it's like a fever breaking here,
right.
You know? It's like been a long, hot summer, hasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
It's been like a glove on us.
Yeah. So, you know, the as far as the kinds of booths that you have, what's going to be going on there?
Sure. Well, it's a great opportunity to learn about the experts that we have in the entire eco-friendly, holistic, alternative way of life.
Right.
So we really have the cream of the crop come down and join the festival. We'll have everything from Macy's Organic Pest Control to AAA Solar. We'll be out teaching. Not only will they have a booth there, but they're also going to give a demonstration on solar techniques that save you money, really easy things that you can do.
Things you can do without spending money?
Without spending a lot of money. I don't know if it's spending any money. Right. But that have a good return.
Right.
Jesse's Sarasota Architectural Salvage will be out there. I have naturopathic doctors, homeopathy, acupuncture, a number of different wellness centers. The Center of Integrated Medicine combines Eastern and Western approaches, and they'll have equipment out there helping people measure certain health conditions that they might have questions
Range
about.
of motion kinds of things
Those
and that?
sorts of things, blood pressure. I don't know actually everything they're doing.
I understand.
They have a lot of equipment that has some neat things, neat results that it can give to you.
Right.
I will have recumbent bikes. I will have regular bikes. Rider Bikes is out there, and I'm teaming with Rider Bikes to give a $300 gift certificate to the winner of the Hopscotch Tournament.
Oh, nice
She
gift.
a brand new bike.
Did you say she would?
What's that?
Did I hear you say she would get a brand new bike?
Yeah. Well, that was an all-inclusive statement.
I got it.
Just like the whole he of the last generation.
I got it.
Like.
Yep. That was payback.
which is similar to Architectural Salvage, will be there. We'll have various nonprofits. Veg Sarasota will be out there giving samples. Cabot Creamery and Earth Origins will both be out there giving hugest amount of samples. They're sponsors. Zija, which is a nutritional drink, will be there. We have a new metaphysical shop opening on Main Street.
That's what I heard.
Pixie Dust Metaphysical Boutique. She'll be there.
Where is that on Main Street?
It's going to be near C'est La Vie.
Uh-huh. Very cool.
Yep. So they open actually on November 10th. So Jonna White will be a great person to visit. She's the new owner of that store. Will be there as well. We'll have all sorts of like things for your teeth, things for your skin, things for your body. I have 3 pet adoptions. I have Cat Rescue, Dalmatian Rescue, and Give Me Shelter for Pets.
Dalmatian Rescue too, huh?
Yeah.
Very nice.
So they'll be out there.
Well, yeah, let me tell you what I'm hearing. I've been to these kind of things before, and they all claim fun, but they don't really produce any fun. But I'm hearing you actually have fun things going on.
Yeah.
A hopscotch tournament. You've got a sound room where you can go in and lay down. And that's really a clever idea. It's really great. And so many different things that you got going on that so bring the kids, isn't it? Bring the family.
Right, bring the family, because the fire department is bringing down a truck. Everybody can play on the fire truck.
Really? They're going to give them let them get on the truck itself?
And even a friend of mine who's older than I am said, "Watch out, kids! I love fire trucks." So she's going to be down there
doing the siren, and yeah, it's going to be crazy down there. I can see.
A spider jump too.
What's that?
A spider jump is a large trampoline structure that has netting around it, and you get strapped in.
Oh, okay.
And you can be guided to do flips and fun things like that. So that will be down there as well.
Wow, you got an awful lot going on. This is at 5 Points Park.
Right.
And it's at November 10th.
November 10th.
9 to 5.
It's 9 to 5, and the live music, though, goes till 9 p.m.
Okay, and the live music starts?
At 3 p.m.
At 3 until 9?
Correct.
So you can come down, listen to music, eat yourself until you're just way too much, and then dance it off.
That's right.
Sounds fantastic.
We package it all into something that will leave you feeling really great.
Sounds fantastic. What have we missed?
I would like to highlight that I have a presentation demo area as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kept it a little smaller this year. I have 6 experts, but I'd like to just mention them.
Tell us who they are. Yeah.
Out. So Lynn McGonigal, the founder of Lightworks Healing Method, will be giving the opening talk at 10 a.m. and she is phenomenal to listen to. Her new healing technique comes from her own experience of losing her brother and connecting to a deeper spirituality. And now she certifies people in many different cities. It's a very effective method for helping people move forward in their lives.
Is it a bereavement kind of thing to get through that kind, or is it just everything?
To move forward in your life
Period.
in general.
Okay, very good.
As a soul.
Right.
She aids the soul journey.
Right, very.
And the title of hers is Be Who Your Soul Wants You to Be.
Oh, wow.
Which is very enticing.
How many people would be frightened of that very idea? Right. Oh, my God, will I start?
We're putting it out there. For all those that are not frightened, she
well,
will be there.
Especially the ones who are frightened.
And the ones that are frightened, you will find that it's much more gentle than what you realize.
Absolutely. Sounds fantastic.
It's a coming home to who you are. And then after that, I have John Lambie. So he's one of the founding members of the Florida House. And the Florida House has received new funding. So it's our local sustainable house that's been a model home for all of us to visit and learn about that lifestyle. And it's ebbed and flowed with its funding. They've got new funding. So they are there to talk about recreating the Florida House and making it a dynamic presence.
And John's a great guy. He really has done a super job with that Florida House. Well worth coming and hearing what John's got to say about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know, I'm thrilled he said yes too. And Jessica Lipham, a favorite of mine, she's a naturopathic doctor and acupuncturist. And she leads a lot of detox programs. It's not her only specialty. She's really very broad. But she tends to offer an extremely effective way to detox. And she's there to actually not only open up what she does with detoxing, but to help you understand why there's even a need or why detoxing can help. So if you have an unnamed condition, how detox can really aid you.
Well, you know that a lot of people aren't familiar with acupuncture. And I really would recommend that they take this. I had cancer back in 2005, and acupuncture was one of the things that I did that made it so much easier to go through that process. So, yeah, definitely. Cool. Very good.
Yeah, that's a good endorsement.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take her.
Good. You need to see her talking. She's sweet. She's got this great energy.
I got an idea that most people that are around you, Kimberly, got great energy. Yeah, because you exude that. Absolutely.
Thank you. And Richard Sales, who I'm not personally met, but AAA Solar registered for the festival.
Mm-hmm.
They've been a part of it in the past. And he is a national speaker
about
solar technology. So we have someone that's really accomplished and understands a lot about solar options. So he's there to give the latest in saving money with solar technology. And then I have 2 interactive demos, so you can come and either just watch or participate. And Rebecca and Michael Stoltz are doing something with Chi Tao. So what we call Chi Tao breath dance. They're masters in the Taoist technique that they've developed called Chi Tao. And I took a workshop with Michael, and he's unbelievable at helping you understand what it does for you as a human being and energetically. So they're great teachers. They have their own institute for studies, and they'll be out both leading a practice and demonstrating.
Well, that's got to be fantastic. When I look at aging and what really goes on, what I see, the biggest problem that makes people old is they begin to think and be weak in particular areas.
Right.
And so if you got, like someone who's teaching you about your chi, which is where your power is, you don't have to go into that weakness. And with the way things are going now, they're talking about really being able to live to be 140 or 150 years old in the not too far distant future. I'm planning on 130, Kimberly, with a valid driver's license.
Oh, now that's
scary, isn't it? Scary, right?
That's great. I need to broaden my ideas then, because I had 102 down.
Well, yeah.
But
Here
we're going with things. Maybe I need to.
Well, if you throw your spear at the moon, you might hit an eagle if you miss.
Right.
So you got to get it out there.
Right. That's great. I love it.
Very good.
That's great. I love it. The last one will be Cheryl Chafee, who is the new owner of Garden of the Heart Yoga.
And that's located where?
It is located on Ringling, now in the complex where Richard's Whole Foods is. Is that
Ringling
in Tuttle?
Right.
Right near the Gabriel Center, and Radiance is there. Circle K.
That's the frame building there with across the street from the drugstore on the corner. Yeah, okay. Yeah. If it's where Radiance is, I think that's...
Okay, it's right in there.
Oh, cool.
So they relocated, and then Cheryl will be out there. And Cheryl's the one that's donating all the mats and the blankets for our House of Sound.
Oh, okay.
So.
Gosh, you got a lot of stuff going on here.
So it's chock full. You need to come out and just spend the day, camp out, hang out. Yeah, and I'm pleased because it benefits Girls Inc., a nonprofit I love, and the Girls Inc. will be out there.
They do a really superb service, Girls Inc. Aren't they marvelous? Yeah. Well, we have here in Sarasota some really good programs that people can take advantage of, and unfortunately, a lot of people aren't aware of what's available. So. And Girls Inc. is going to be there?
Yes. So I will have them set up right at Main and Lemon, so it can be a meet and greet.
Right.
And then, in addition, they'll be kind of there throughout the festival. They'll be helping out. Their presence will be there.
That's fantastic.
We're also going to have a little shabby chic boutique.
Shabby chic, huh?
Doesn't that sound great?
Yeah.
You might not be interested in buying anything.
I'm not. We can get that right off the table. It's I got that down easily in my own wardrobe. So.
Well, what they do is, one of the things they do at Girls Inc. is they create a micro-society. And in the beginning of the school year, the girls sign up for the programs or the clubs they're interested in. Once they're in that club, they set up an entire, it's almost like the club is a company. And so one person is the accountant.
Oh, it's like a business they set up.
So they create a vision. What are we going to make, or what are we going to sell, or how are we going to serve? And they create the structure that would let them be in union with the other clubs.
Uh-huh.
And then Friday is market day, and they all come to the table, and they either offer their wares or their services, and then they get play money, and they balance that all out. And so you can buy things from other clubs, you bank, you save, you make investments, you can invest in the bank that they have, they elect a mayor. So they have this whole system that helps the girls understand what it means if they were living on their own and they needed to manage things.
That's phenomenal.
Isn't that great?
They need to have that in schools, period.
Right.
You know,
or as adult programs for all of us.
So, yeah, really.
Yeah.
It's like we might have fewer people in the shelters if we were to do that.
Yes.
You know.
So Shabby Chic Boutique is one of the clubs, and they use recycled items, newspapers, discarded beads, all sorts of things like that, and they make fun apparel or accessories.
So are you looking for people to bring donations for that, or are you selling things there?
At the festival, they're going to sell.
Okay.
So if you see, like they make with paper, how they'll fold it and they interweave it. They make little handbags, so you can like buy one.
Okay, very
and
cool.
that will go to support them.
Fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to believe that you had anything else going on there. Did we miss anything?
This is true.
Right? You know?
I'm trying to think. Well, I'm sure I'm probably missing a couple things. This doesn't affect anyone that is coming to attend, but I want to boast that for all my exhibitors and sponsors, Java Planet, I've arranged with them to provide coffee for all my exhibitors in the morning as a perk. And with Girls Inc., we're going to make muffins for everybody. So if anyone's still thinking about being an exhibitor, know that their morning breakfast is taken care of.
So if someone wants to be an exhibitor, what do they need to do? How do they contact you?
If they visit the website, www.sarasotanaturally.com, the applications are right on the website, all the information. My contact information is there as well.
Fantastic. Spiritual Broadcasting Network is going to be there. We're going to look forward to meeting you, so be sure and come on down. We're going to have a good time.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, you will.
I mean, I'm not coming down there to spend the day for nothing. If I can't laugh a bit and have a good... I'm going to be in that house of sound, though.
You need to be in that house
Oh,
of sound.
I could have used that this week, believe me.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah. So, okay, well, it sounds like we really have told our story.
I think we covered it.
Okay, so we're looking at November 10th, 9 to 5, down at 5 Points Park. Everything is going on. Bring the family. Come on down. You don't need to worry about food. Food's going to be provided. Entertainment's there. Health is there. Kick back, listen to some sounds in the room. Come out feeling rejuvenated. I mean, what could you want?
It's true. I can't imagine anything better. Being with your local community as well.
Fantastic. Yes, and actually supporting a really good group. It's fantastic. So, all right. Well, I think we pretty well covered everything. What do you think?
I think we're good. It's free to the public.
I was going to say that right in the beginning, and then I didn't do it. So, free.
It's free.
Come down.
Cost anything.
You can dance for free, listen to bands for free, get into a sound room that will help heal your body for free. You can learn about how you can make your house save you money and be green for free or low cost. So come on down, right?
Great.
Well, we've covered that good. Let's cover you about as well. Because I know that there are a lot of people out there that you know, but there are a lot of people you don't who I think would like to know a person like you, at least from my experience with you. You're a very interesting lady.
Thank you.
Absolutely. When I first heard your background, it was like, wow. You know, I have a show here called Spiritual But Not Religious. If there's any one person that fits, it's you. You know, with your background. You were a Carmelite nun?
Right.
For how many years?
10 and a half.
Just 10 and a half years. Now, if you don't know what a Carmelite nun is, that's the barefoot. Is that not? Is that?
That's one branch,
Okay.
dishoused. But no one really goes barefoot anymore. But it is a symbol that we live very austerely.
Okay. So was that the branch that you were in, or were you in?
No, but actually the branch I was in nowadays, even though it's not dishoused, actually lived more austerely.
Is that right?
Yes, because the whole barefoot, the disc house name came about with Teresa of Avila and
Yes.
on the cross.
Yes.
And it was just a return to the rule. Well, since that was so many years ago, it was 600 years ago now, the order has gone through many different transitions
Sure.
through the years. So really each monastery is very autonomous and would discern how they're going to live that out and not be so characterized as one being austere and the other not being.
So Carmelites are mystics, am I right?
Yes.
Tell us, what's a mystic? Because I think so many people have such a, like unusual ideas of what mystics are, and they're often wrong.
Right. I guess I can give you just what my take is.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it would be a definitive. I believe every person is a mystic.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I believe at the core level, we're all divine. And when we find ourselves in that place of being connected with the divine or aware or living from that place, there's a mystical quality to our understanding, to our interactions. The Carmelite charism is to actually walk in the divine presence. So its aim is to lead a mystical life. And it's the lens with which you look at the world is just, how is God present? How
Right.
is spirit present? How is divine present? So it isn't a matter of what is happening or how is it happening or why, but how is God present?
And you find that presence within,
Correct.
which is hugely different.
And then tasted without as you experience it within.
Right. And without the need for any in-between person or whatever kind of name you want to put on them. This can be a very personal, very experiential kind of connection. Am I right?
Yes.
See, when you say that you think everybody is, I couldn't agree more. I was a mystic long before I realized I was a mystic, because I didn't know what a mystic was. But as soon as I started to find out, it was like, oh, wow, yeah, I'm there. I didn't live the austere life. I went kind of the other direction, Kimberly, to get to where I'm at with it, all paths, I think, can lead to this.
Absolutely, because even when I was in high school, my favorite band was The Doors.
There you go, huh?
And there was something that was very compelling about this whole notion of breaking through, and certainly with Jim Morrison and that philosophy that they were talking about, they were doing it through excess in different ways.
Absolutely.
And pushing boundaries of the psyche and boundaries of the body. And so there's something to be said for
isn't
that
that really kind of like the path of like the yogis? Is that same kind of, it's a very physical kind of path? The martial arts kind of pushes, through that kind of.
I'm not a yogi, so I'd hesitate to speak definitively, but my understanding is, especially from the tantric philosophy, that it's through the pathway of purifying our desires.
Right.
That we find the fulfillment of our desires.
Right.
So it is a very visceral experience.
It's interesting that, you can have the complete opposite, real extremes that can take you to the same spot.
Right.
The person who meditates deeply, in a monastery, and that's basically what they do. That path is the same way. Then you got somebody doing martial arts.
Right.
I mean, who would think that martial arts could possibly take you there?
Right.
But they do.
Right.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And was your order a silent one?
We lived in silence, but we didn't take a vow of silence, but we did live in silence.
So for 10.5 years, you didn't say much at all?
Except we chanted
Uh-huh.
a lot. We had moments that we spoke. The general life was in silence, but there were moments, like once a day we would gather to share for a short period of
Uh-huh.
time. And if there was need, obviously necessity knows no law, so.
Right. So you take care of whatever the need would
Right.
be.
Right.
Well, what's interesting on a practical level about that, we were talking earlier about putting together this naturally, Sarasota Naturally, it's a big job, and it's project management, and a lot of people have, like, you can go crazy putting something like this together. There's a lot of details, a lot of things that have to happen. But what I'm hearing is that 10.5 years really took a lot of self-discipline to be able to stay and go through that. That must serve you well in this kind of thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it took any discipline. I didn't feel discipline was a word I would have used around it, because I was so on fire with love that for me, I just wanted more. For me,
that's interesting.
It was something that was gratifying versus denying.
Right.
So I wasn't hemming something in or learning. Obviously, whenever we are in love and we give ourselves 100%, inevitably that involves tailoring to be faithful to that love.
Yes.
But for me, the impelling factor was this being on fire. So
that's really interesting to me, because that's a viewpoint that I hadn't seen. My fire, my passion was different, and so to put myself into those circumstances for me would have been discipline.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, I really hear.
It would have been a rigor, and for me, there was not one. We got up at midnight, and then we would get up again at 5, and there was not one day when I woke up that I was absent of tremendous joy and gratitude. Like, thrilled that I was there, doing what I was doing as a Carmelite. Not one day.
How did you come by becoming a Carmelite? What? I mean.
Well, it was actually pretty easy. My contemplative lifestyle was very strong since I was about 5. So I had a lot of real unitive experiences that piqued my devotion and my curiosity to the process. And I drew conclusions like, oh, this is what I really like,
Right.
And so that kind of set the stage. And then things escalated when I was 19, and I began to experience overwhelming, like where I would be lost in meditation or communion for hours, and it would feel like 2 minutes. And this would be throughout the day, every day, for 3 years. I mean, it was like constantly.
What a wonderful experience.
It was like being on a honeymoon phase with God,
Right.
And during that time, I tried to seek out a spiritual director or a mentor, like someone, because I was young. And while I knew what was happening, I still wanted to grow with it. I wanted to be able to talk to somebody about it and share in an intimate way what was going on.
Right.
And I couldn't find anybody that could understand. Like one guy I visited with and I was sharing, I said, well, this would happen, and I just feel like my body can't sustain it, and I'll just almost swoon, and then this will happen, and he's like, well, are you sure you're not falling asleep? Oh my
goodness.
And I was like, no, actually.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Right.
Happening. It's actually like everything is more alive, but I'm not totally in my body. So I tried to explain it. I never found understanding. And what happened is that within probably about 2 weeks, a series of individuals placed within my hands different Carmelite authors. And what was most pivotal was Teresa of Avila's autobiography.
I read that.
And as I'm reading, I'm like, yes, that's it. And immediately I felt this kinship. I felt understood. And in feeling understood, I felt like she was present.
Right.
And then Thérèse of Lisieux, I read her book in one night, and I felt like it just burned my heart, and actually knew it by heart for years.
Wow.
I could quote any place in it. So what happened is this relationship, it was like this veil was drawn back, and these relationships presented themselves, and they became my best friends. And so as I began looking around for monasteries, because that's where I knew I wanted to go.
Right. Well, that would be a natural.
It would be natural for that type of experience.
Yeah.
I tried a couple other, I looked in Benedictine and Dominican, and I felt like I was walking into a foreign land. And then whenever I entered probably about 15 to 20 different Carmelite monasteries around the country, and every time there would be this feeling of like a peace.
I'm at home.
It's like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
So it was kind of simple.
Well, when you were talking about your contemplative life started at 5 or 6?
Yeah.
How did that happen? What like? I mean, was it? Did you? I'm trying to think of the Catholic priest who is really a contemplative. He's brought contemplative prayer really to the forefront.
Oh, recently, like Basil Pennington.
No,
Thomas Keating.
Keating is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Father Keating, amazing guy,
Yes.
amazing guy. Were you involved in that phase of? So you just kind of came by meditation. It was just part of naturally for you.
It was natural.
So who were you in a past life here?
Who was I in a past life? I don't know.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
I don't know.
Because the story you're telling me, your life here is very. I mean, you must know it's unusual.
Right. I never thought it was.
Yeah,
It was
well, you
funny
wouldn't.
Because we all do when we're little.
Yeah.
As little kids, we think everyone's experiencing exactly the same thing. And I remember when I entered the monastery, I assumed everyone came because they were experiencing what I was experiencing.
Right.
And I was just so surprised at how hard it would be for people to get up at midnight, or how much they felt alone when I felt like I entered into a realm of communion with everything. And so it was, yeah. But it happened first that I remember out in nature.
Right. Just.
I would just be heightened awareness of how alive nature was. It felt like a dance to me.
So are you a nature mystic like St. Francis was?
It was that, but it happened in ritual too.
Uh-huh.
And then and it began to happen a lot just in my circumstances. Like something would happen in my family. And I remember one thing I have never been allowed to experience for very long is discouragement.
Right.
And at different moments in my life, when maybe something would happen, or like maybe I tried hard at something and it flopped, or and I would begin to feel discouraged. Immediately, what would happen is something would pull open, and I would experience it completely differently.
A whole new viewpoint.
A whole new viewpoint, and discouragement didn't exist in that viewpoint. I'll give you an example. When I was, I think it was around 7,
Uh-huh.
and a Friday night would be pizza night, and we'd use paper plates so that we didn't have to do dishes, and we'd get to drink soda, which we never got to drink.
Uh-huh.
So it was like this special night. And I would always go with my dad, who I was really close with, and get the pizzas. And I loved it. A little kid, you look forward to it all week. And
Yeah, going with that and pizza
Dad,
too.
Get the pizza, and you put the pizza on your lap, and it's all warm, and everything. It smells. The pepperoni. You can smell.
I wish you'd stop that. You got me ready now.
Right. Yeah. Well, this one time we switched places, and my sister got to go with my dad, and I was staying home to set the table and all that. And I was, first of all, very disappointed.
Yeah.
But then immediately I was like, oh my God, well, I'll just set the best table for them, and I'll get it all ready. Well, long story short, I set the table, got everything ready, including getting the Coke in the glasses and getting it all set up. And I'm there waiting for them to all come back, and the glasses are beginning to sweat.
Uh-huh.
Because the ice is melting, because I prepared it all too early.
Ah.
And then the water was dripping onto the plates.
And your beautiful...
And my beautiful setup for this beautiful night was being ruined. Well, what I started to do as a little girl is I plummeted into being discouraged, like I ruined everything.
What a bad person.
Right? I ruined everything. Right as I began to feel discouraged, it was like everything stopped and everything opened up. And I realized that it didn't have anything to do with the Coke not being watery or the plates not being wet, that the joy that I was preparing for was the essence of what our family night was about. That it didn't have to do anything with material. The material was just the...
This is at 7 years old?
Yeah. Well, it took away the discouragement. I had no discouragement, and I was free.
Right.
So I had a lot of that sort of thing happening, in addition to the nature and the ritual.
That's really interesting that at that young age, there are people that I personally know who just really worked hard at the, like the religious or the spiritual things to try and get to the place you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a gift that you...
It was a gift. It was a gift, because I'd be a very discouraged person, because I fail at a lot of things.
You're in good company now. Yeah. But isn't that kind of part of the whole deal?
Yeah.
I like to tell myself that. So you have my curiosity now. Knowing about Teresa of Avila and some of the stuff that went on for her.
Yes.
So did you come off the ground?
I did not levitate.
No levitation? What did you have any experiences that were similar to hers?
Yeah, what I experienced was like flights of spirit, like completely being so enraptured.
Right.
And so I experienced that tremendously, and I experienced the fruits of that as well. How fast I would be shifting in my mind and my heart. I experienced what she would call the prayer of quiet. Where everything was just completely still inside, and spending time in meditation or prayer wasn't work or wasn't devoting your attention to something. It was just being. So I experienced a lot of those sorts of things. I experienced radical sorts of healings and things like that.
I was years down the road before I experienced any of that rapturous joy that you're talking about from meditation. I started with transcendental meditation, and back in I think '76 or '7 or something like that. But my early experience though was kind of similar in that I recall I was 7 or 8 years old about your like where you were talking about, and I'm asking questions like, why are we here? That was what I wanted to know that, and I recall finding my father's breast pocket Bible from the Second World War in the basement, and that kind of piqued everything for me at that point. Those breast pocket Bibles, they were brass. The front page was brass to deflect a bullet. Wow. So, but it's all pretty interesting. That the other interesting aspect of this for me. Well, one of them, I mean, a lot of them, things about you are paradoxical from my viewpoint. And that is that you had this Catholic, Carmelite background. And what I know of you today is that you're a Reiki master. You've done martial arts, am I right? Some martial arts. You're very much in a new age. You do reflexology.
I don't do it, but I believe in all of those systems.
Okay, and you teach yoga?
I do not teach yoga.
Okay, I thought you were a yoga teacher, but at any rate, you've blended, all of it appears to me, right, the religion with the spiritual, the Eastern and Western kind of together in your life. How did that happen for you? I mean, there's so many people who are so caught in the indoctrination of the beliefs, right, that they can't get out, and they can't expand the way I see that you've expanded, because it feels to me like you've really melded those together in a very sweet way.
I think that it's just because I think one of my archetypes is being a lover, and I'm very compelled by that. And so experience is what speaks to me.
Right.
And experience happens deep within. So coming from deep within, what I experience to be true is what I innately trust.
Right.
And I know from my curiosity, because I'm very intellectually curious about things, that language falls short of our experience always.
Way short.
The board.
Yeah. And
so I find them just to be a variety of languages about similar hopes, similar experiences, similar goals, similar understandings, that are just attempts to talk about things. And so I remain very open to it because I trust that the essence of what's there is exactly the same.
Doesn't matter what words we put on it, does it?
Right.
Truth is truth is truth.
Right. But because I like to understand things, I like to understand how acupuncture works with chi and what it does.
Sure.
It's natural. So I'm not simply looking at a a blind, intuitive sense of it. I love to actually be able to converse at the table about that. So when I learn, I'm just learning from that vantage point. Like I teach meditation is my main passion.
Right.
And I teach any style you can imagine. And my hope with that is to call the essence of the technique and to honor the belief system in which that technique belonged, but to see it for what it is. It was a belief system of a culture that may or may not touch that person in a helpful way.
Right.
So
in other words, you're getting people with meditation back into their true essence.
Right.
Beyond the enculturization that we all suffer from, really.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? We have really passed the time here.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we do about 50 minutes, and
okay.
we've done really well. Yeah, let's talk for this. And believe me, you were on another show with me, and we went the whole show and had plenty to talk about and more we could have talked about. And we're there now too. But let's do a little more, one more about your Sarasota Naturally.
Yes.
Just give us the real overview and dates and where they can go on your website and all of that.
Excellent. SarasotaNaturally.com. It is the 5th annual downtown Sarasota community event that will happen on November 10th from 9 to 5, except the live music will go till 9 p.m. And the festival is devoted to bringing together experts in the community for green living, sustainability, health and wellness, holistic pet care, and anything else that has to do with alternative modalities in Sarasota. I have a huge kids area, a big Hopscotch Tournament, which will benefit Girls Inc. Very interactive, so you'll get lots of free samples and sessions. The live music are great bands. We have a house of sound that you can go and lay down and relax, and you'll hear flute and bowls and didgeridoo all around you, so you can de-stress. So you can choose how you wish to experience the festival. So bring your stress, and we'll send you home without it. Right? Great. Huh? Good tagline. Sounds like a great thing. I mean, you can get food, you get fun, you get entertained all day long. You're going to get great weather because that's promised, right? I mean, we know that's going to be good. November 10th, 9 to 5. Yeah. And it's, did you say Lemon and Main? Main Street, Lemon, and 5 Points Park. Right. So you got a nice big area, and it's really changed down there with the new roundabouts they have on Main Street. If you haven't been down there, it's a treat. So be sure and come on down. That's the end of our show. I've got another great guest planned for next week, so you'll want to be sure and come back same time. And in the meantime, don't forget to accentuate the positive and have a fantastic week. Be sure to hop on over to the Spiritual Broadcast Network. It's the go-to place for all things spiritual. You'll discover internet television shows that you won't find anywhere else. You can also choose from hundreds of hours of spiritual documentaries and movies. You'll enjoy on-demand and live internet television programming 24/7.